So this is Logitech Z625 2.1 sound system. It features a 400 watts peak power 2.1 speaker setup. What it means is it's got two satellite speakers and one subwoofer that's producing about 400 watts at peak. To a lot of people, the peak power actually doesn't mean anything. It's rated continuously at 200 watts. So about 130 watts on the subwoofer and about 35 watts each on the satellites. So this is a Z625 compared to the last generation, which was Z623. The only difference is they added a few more connection options. For example, the optical connectors, the RCA connectors, I think, compared to the Z623. So if you don't need those connections, you can definitely just get Z623 and save a lot of money. If you only use 3.5mm headphone jacks, you would save quite a lot of money buying the Z623. And they are essentially, sound quality wise, they're essentially exactly the same. The only thing different is a few more connection options. Okay, so I bought this because I do not have a speaker over here at our new house, and my PC has a optical, I guess, input or optical output. So I want to use that optical output connection for slightly better sound quality output from my PC. Okay, so this is mainly going to be used for my PC, and let's just open up the box and take a look and see what's inside this speaker system. Okay, so looks like I need to open up that little tape area over here. So very excited. This sells about $149 plus tax at Best Buy, but also the same price on Amazon. So if you cannot go to your local store, I'll post the link down below on where you can buy it online. And so this is probably the best or the highest wattage rated speaker you can buy for this price range. The other one being the, I think I've seen a 2.1 system in Costco that's also for sale for about $150. However, that one had less connections, less connecting options, and I'll post a description on what the other model I saw on Costco. But let's actually take a look and see what's inside here first. So we've got the satellite speakers over here, very plasticky speakers. However, the connection wire, I think this is the right speaker with the control. The connector wire is very thick. It's like a comb connector, so it's a proprietary connector. And over here is the left speaker, and the left speaker had a RCA connector going to the, I think, the right speaker. And then they are all going to the subwoofer, I assume. So 3.5mm cable, a optical cable. This is exactly what I need. And the reason I bought this Z625 compared to 623. And over here inside you have the subwoofer. So you try to take it out. They have conveniently designed this little handle for you to actually just grab the subwoofer out from the side, which is really nice thought and the nice design as well. So here's the subwoofer, and now I can just leave the box on the side, and we're gonna put everything back there in a little bit. The subwoofer obviously is the most heaviest part, and by heavy I would say it's comparatively heavy because the whole system is a subwoofer and two satellites, weighs only 18 pounds. So compared to some old school computer systems or computer speaker systems, this is definitely on the light side. but I'm curious to find out the sound quality that this machine produces. I should have a fairly high expectation because, again, at this price range, this is the highest continuous output speaker money can buy at around $150. Unless you're buying some other stuff that's used. Okay, so we're not talking about used stuff. And of course, for only $100, you can get the Z625, which lacks a few connectors, pretty much. So opening up the subwoofer. The subwoofer, by the way, is very compact, okay? And I'm pretty sure it's made of particle board. So the subwoofer is made of particle board with a plastic overlay on top. And if you look at the back, I'm not sure if it shows up in the camera. Let's see. So if you look at the back, it's got RCA connectors. It's got RCA 3.5 and your optical, which is really what I'm interested in. And over here, it kind of gives you a general guide on what those connectors are actually for. So the RCA is mainly for TV. The, of course, 3.5 most popular connector is for everything, pretty much. And the optical is for some of the monitors, some of the PC sound cards, and your gaming device, okay? So this is the control port for the right side speaker, and obviously this is the input for the left side. Very simple setup. Here is the label, Z625. Let's see, so the input is, doesn't really matter that much. Okay, so I'm gonna try to just put everything together on the desktop, and I'm gonna turn it on, and I'm gonna try it out, play a few rounds of games, and let you guys know what I think about the sound quality of the speaker system, okay? So see you in a bit. So taking a closer look at what the speaker looks like, this is a satellite speaker. Again, very, very light, almost too light to my taste. However, the design is pretty sleek, I would say, and it's lacking the front grille. I know a lot of other speakers actually had a removable grille. This one doesn't even have a grille. It's just a metal grille on the front to protect the satellite speaker. This is the main control speaker. You got your power, you got your volume and bass on the right side. Again, pretty primitive and pretty simple setup. I kind of wish there is a remote option available, but there isn't. So mainly if you need to change the volume settings, you have to reach for it. So imagine if you're playing a video game and you want to change the volume, you have to go in front of your TV and change those settings, which is kind of unintuitive to me. So on the side, I believe those are also new compared to the Z623, is a headphone input jack and a auxiliary input jack. So those are for if you headphone output. So if you want to put up a headphone and you know at night you're playing video games, you don't want it to be too loud, you can put your headphone jack. You can put your headphone over here, which means you don't have to really reach down onto your PC to change the speaker to a headphone. So which is quite nice. But again, the whole setup is actually very, very primitive, okay? But that's not the point. I think the reason it's selling for $150 for a primitive setup is because of the sound quality. So next, let's set it up and turn it on, and we're gonna play some games. And those are the included audio cable. I think it's about 6 foot long. Should be long enough for my needs. So it's pretty easy and pretty plug and play. You just align those notches on the side and then you push it in there. And it should lock in place. When the device is turned on, it's going to emit a red light. Okay, so the red light is going to come from the computer and it's going to go into the device and it's going to decode the digital signal from the computer. That's how the thing works. And over here, I'm going to be connecting this COM port to the COM port on the subwoofer, and then the machine, connect the machine to the power, and it should be working momentarily. All right, you guys see this, the little red light? So when you connect this to the PC, the sound card, when they have the optical output, it lights up this little red light, which is a very weak light. But you connect this to the back of the speaker, somewhere there. Let's see if I can line it up. Kind of hard to see. So basically you just line it up and you push it in there, make sure it's connected. Sorry, it's pretty dark. And now you hear a click, you know it's connected, so it's ready to go pretty much. And the cable is very thin, so I would probably find a way to tie this to something later on. And right now, what I don't like is that the control cable is actually pretty thick, and it looks bulky. It's like the thickest cable behind my PC case. So the speaker is on the left side, and I might move this later on depending on the setup. And it's going through my PC, and the power cable is hiding behind. And if you look at the top, I already put the two speakers on the side of my monitor, and as you can see, the power was defaulting to on, which is interesting. Let's give this a try. I'm curious, so put up some music and then we're gonna test it out really quick. All right, so play some Miles Davis. Check it out. And interestingly, I need to, I forgot to unplug those, so it was overriding the sound. I need to go into the sound settings and change the sound output to the optical output. So right now it's defaulting to my sound card, which is not okay. Now it seems to be correct. Oh yeah, I can definitely feel that double bass pumping pretty nice on the floor. So the bass actually sounds very full, and the high sounds really nice. I'm surprised by such small speaker that had a such high quality sound output. Yeah, if you ask me if it's worth $150 at this point, hell yeah. Like, the sound quality is really good. The bass is really full. Compared to any of the desktop 2.0 setup, this is definitely much fuller sounding experience. So next, let's play some games and try to find out how it sounds during the gaming. So because of the copyright issues on some of the sounds, I'm actually just gonna play some video games and test it out and see how well the speaker performs. I usually use my headphone for my video games because I think the positioning of the enemies is much more precise with a headphone. But since the I guess the environmental sound quality of the Logitech Z625 is just so good, plus the bass makes the sound just sounds very spacious, and like it sounds more real compared to a headphone. So I really want to test out to see what it feels like playing Overwatch actually with speakers. So it will be the first time to find out. And so I actually listened to some of the jazz music, some classicals, and some pop music. The sound quality, let me tell you, for $150, you probably cannot beat the sound quality of the Logitech Z625. It's very, very good. It sounds very full, sounds very spacious, and it sounds good. My only complaint is that the controlling cable is actually a little too thick, and there are no ways to disable other sound if you have multiple inputs or output at the same time. There's no way to select the individual inputs to display or to play. So that's a problem I have. But let me play some games and I'll let you guys know what I think about the sound quality of the Z625 during gameplay.
Justice will be done.
Right off the bat, when Reinhardt walks around, that deep sounding bass of his foot, it's much more pronounced compared to when I was using a headphone. So definitely a much better experience.
Capture the objective.
Right off the bat, definitely sounds much like a gaming environment. Actually very exciting to hear different sound compare this to a headphone. Very different.